When I first heard that Patagonia was making a line of workwear, I was skeptical and actually kind of a little surprised. After all, isn't this the company that's well known for, hippies and hikers? That being said, I do have a couple of pieces of that I really like from Patagonia, but anyway, it just seemed like an unlikely segment to try to get into with brands like Dickies and Carhartt absolutely dominating the space. But then again, maybe it does make a little bit of sense. I used to consistently mix in some technical pieces with my regular workwear on the job because usually it's thinner, it's very stretchy, it allows a lot of freedom of movement, and on hot days or when you're working in, really weird areas or something, it actually is nice. So maybe it's not such an unlikely pairing after all. But the other issue is price. Now, Patagonia's stuff isn't exactly known to be cheap, and when it comes to workwear, it's all about finding that balance between affordability and quality. See, working people know that they're going to blow through their clothes pretty quickly because they take a beating on the job. Whether you're a farmer or you work at a construction site, anything, your clothing is going to wear out. So a lot of people don't want to spend a ton of money on it, and that's why you don't see brands like Filson and Arc'teryx and really expensive brands on the job site very much because people know that they're gonna wear through them. So that's why companies like Carhartt and Dickies and Duluth, companies like that, usually hit the sweet spot with affordability and durability and quality. So I went ahead and bought 3 pieces from the Patagonia work line. I bought a chore coat, a shirt, and a pair of pants. I figured this would give me a good cross sample of what they have to offer. And one of the things that they're really pushing is this Ironforge hemp material, which is supposed to be really abrasion resistant. So I really wanted to see what that was about and the different ways they would use it in different pieces. The first thing that I notice is that the Patagonia Ironforge hemp material feels dense and soft and flexible. This is a lot different than the starchy feeling of new duck canvas, which usually takes a while to soften up. The texture and the colors look the part too, with hues of brown and green, but this is also a limitation of hemp material, which actually looks best when dyed in earth tones. That's why you see it so much. The fabric is a blend of 55% hemp, 25% recycled polyester, and 18% organic cotton canvas. A blend which Patagonia claim is 25% more abrasion resistant than traditional cotton duck canvas. All the buttons are nicely sized and made of metal, which is a welcome feature and adds to the high quality feeling. Overall, the construction is very decent, with the main seams being triple stitched and rivets at stretch points, pretty much everything you would expect from workwear. But let's go through these items one by one for the full breakdown. The Ironforge hemp canvas double knee pants. These bad boys feature 7 belt loops, a straight fit that plays nicely with work boots, gusseted front pockets, and extra deep back pockets that mirror the fronts. They use a gusset in the crotch for freedom of movement, especially while crouching down, and double knee construction with bottom openings. And just a side note on those, every manufacturer I've ever seen says that the bottom openings are for clean out or for knee pads, but in over 20 years in the field, I've never seen anybody actually put knee pads in these things. These pants are comfortable from the get-go, and the fabric is soft and nice and flexible. In fact, it kind of feels like you're wearing pajamas or something. I found them to be really nice when climbing a ladder or kneeling down. They just move with you, and you kind of forget they're there. This is the opposite of a lot of burly work pants like the Duluth Fire Hose line. The back pockets are a bit of a double-edged sword. They're easy to get into, and they basically swallow up anything you put into them, but they're a pain if you're in any position except for standing. While I was pulling a transmission, nothing would stay in them. Anything I'd put in the back pocket would end up on the floor and under the wheel of my creeper. I also wish they would have added an extra pocket or two. Those little side tool pockets come in extra handy, and I find myself using them all the time, so it would be nice to have a couple of those on the side of the pants. Another shortcoming is the double knee, which doesn't extend up onto the thigh very far. I'm used to the kind of like chaps cut, which is nice, especially when you're moving logs or working on something that you place on your lap. These cover the knees, but not much else. I mean, overall, it feels like this is kind of like the first version of these pants, and with a couple of tweaks, they might be really great. The second item was the Ironforge hemp canvas chore coat, and this was the piece I was most excited about. It looked great, it didn't disappoint at all. Burly and well thought out, this coat is fantastic with that same flexible hemp blend. The collar is nice and wide if you want to flip it up in the wind, rain, or the snow, and I noticed it basically left like no gap under my hard hat, so it covered my neck completely. This features a gusseted back, which allows you to reach and stretch without binding or discomfort. The pocket layout is simple yet effective, with oversized pockets overall that can hold a modern smartphone equipped with an otter case. The lower pockets open from the sides for your hands and are lined in a nice soft material, but they also open from the top with a snap closure. And this is a really nice feature because most short coats, they only have the top opening. The lower pockets are basically useless to warm your hands. There's one interior zipped pocket for things that you want to keep safe and secure, but no other interior features. Overall, this jacket is great, but I found that the sizing is very generous. I ordered a large, but this definitely fits like an extra large or double X. So you may want to size down depending on your build. It's not a slim cut by any means, so there's a ton of room for layering, and just make sure that your sizing is spot on. Consider your build and climate before you order it. The third piece is the men's Farrier shirt, and this is the real star of the show. This shirt is fantastic, and I can't find a thing that I'd change about it. The makeup of this material is a little bit different, with 55% hemp and 45% polyester. But it's still soft and it moves nicely. The metal buttons feel great and the sleeves roll up really nicely. The box pleat on the back makes movement easy. The two chest pockets are well thought out, with each one having a place for your pencil or pen. And they're pleated, which allows you to carry things in them that you never before considered. The hem is flat but long enough to tuck in if you want, making it good for the field or the office. But the same issue exists with sizing, and I'm wearing a medium, which actually fits perfectly, but typically I'm a large. So overall, this is the best of the bunch, and honestly, I may pick up a couple more in some other colors. Now, it's worth mentioning that Patagonia has a lot more in their workwear line, but I wanted to pick sort of what would be a core outfit for somebody with pants and a shirt and a jacket, the things that you're most likely to buy. Now, Patagonia definitely leads the charge when it comes to responsibility and transparency and a dedication towards the environment, so that's great. But that being said, it is worth mentioning that these are made in Sri Lanka, which may or may not be an issue for you. I know a lot of people like to buy from their home country, so if you live in Sri Lanka, then maybe you'll want to buy these. Overall, what I've seen from the Patagonia workwear line is very good. The thing is, they're going to have a hard time getting past the price issue, with stalwart companies out there like Carhartt and Dickies who already have a dedicated, loyal fan base and the track record to prove that their stuff is durable and it works well. These guys are going to have a hard time breaking into the market, especially when they're priced so much higher. A great example is the Carhartt double front pants, which are basically legendary in the world of workwear, and these come in at about 50 bucks. Made in the USA, very nice finishing. I'm on my second pair of these things. They're great. And when the Patagonia pants cost nearly 40% more, you're gonna have a hard time getting people to switch from their favorite items. So I think that's gonna be the real sticking point until Patagonia comes up with something that's really, really innovative, or they're able to drop their prices. I just don't see them breaking into the workwear market, especially the ones that I've seen. People tend to wear things that are on the cheap side because they know they're going to get destroyed. Sometimes they'll wear a piece or two that are a little bit more expensive, but the stuff here looks to be trying to replace your normal workwear. So until they can bring those prices down just a little bit, I think that they're going to have a hard time breaking into the line, even if it is 25% more abrasion resistant. And I can't test that because that's something that you can really only tell over time. I think this is a great step in the right direction. Some of these things might really hit home for a lot of you. So if that's the case, have fun and enjoy. Just watch that sizing because they really go very, very big, and they're also pretty billowy. None of these things are slim cut at all. That is really in line with most workwear though. So if you're used to the workwear fit, this is going to be no surprise. Please let me know what you think about the new Patagonia workwear line down in the comments section though, because I really want to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.